Proverbs chapter 1. Here are the kingdom revelations, words to live by, and words of wisdom given to empower you to reign in life. Written as Proverbs by Israel's King Solomon, David's son. Within these sayings will be found the revelation of wisdom and the impartation of spiritual understanding. Use them as keys to unlock the treasures of true knowledge. Those who cling to these words will receive discipline to demonstrate wisdom in every relationship, and to choose what is right and just and fair. These proverbs will give you great skill to teach the immature and make them wise, to give the youth the understanding of their design and destiny. For the wise, these proverbs will make you even wiser. And for those with discernment, you will be able to acquire brilliant strategies for leadership. These kingdom revelations will break open your understanding to unveil the deeper meaning of parables, poetic riddles, and epigrams, and to unravel the words and enigmas of the wise. How then does a man gain the essence of wisdom? We cross the threshold of true knowledge when we live in complete awe and adoration of God. Stubborn know-it-alls will never stop to do this, for they scorn true wisdom and knowledge. Pay close attention, my child, to your father's wise words, and never forget your mother's instructions, for their insight will bring you success, adorning you with grace-filled thoughts, and giving you reins to guide your descendants. When peer pressure compels you to go with the crowd, and sinners invite you to join in, you must simply say no. When the gang says, "We're going to steal and kill and get away with it. We'll take down the rich and rob them. We'll swallow them up alive. We'll take what we want from whomever we want. Then we'll take their treasures and fill our homes with loot. So come and join us. Take your chance with us. We'll divide up all we get. We'll each end up with big bags of cash. My son, refuse to go with them and stray far away from them, for crime is their way of life and bloodshed their specialty. To be aware of their snare is the best way of escape. They'll resort to murder to steal their victims' assets, but eventually it will be their own lives that are ambushed. In their ungodly disrespect for God, they bring destruction on their own lives. Wisdom's praises are sung in the streets and celebrated far and wide. Wisdom's song is not always heard in the halls of higher learning, but in the hustle and bustle of everyday life. Its lyrics can be heard above the din of the crowd. You'll hear wisdom's warnings as she preaches courageously to those who stop to listen. Foolish ones, how much longer will you cling to your deception? How much longer will you mock wisdom? Cynical scorners who fight the facts. Come back to your senses and be restored to reality. Don't even think about refusing my rebuke. Don't you know that I'm ready to pour out my spirit of wisdom upon you and bring to you the revelation of my words that will make your heart wise? I've called to you over and over, still you refuse to come to me. I've pleaded with you again and again, yet you've turned a deaf ear to my voice. Because you have laughed at my counsel and have insisted on continuing in your stubbornness, I will laugh when your calamity comes, and will turn away from you at the time of your disaster. Make a joke of my advice, will you? Then I'll make a joke out of you. When the storm clouds of terror gather over your head, when dread and distress consume you, and your catastrophe comes like a hurricane, then you will cry out to me, but I won't answer. It'll be too late to expect my help. When desperation drives you to search for me, it'll be nowhere to be found, because you have turned up your nose at me and closed your eyes to the facts, and have refused to worship me in awe, because you scoffed at my wise counsel and laughed at my correction. Now you'll eat the bitter fruit of your own ways. You've made your own bed, now lie in it. So how do you like that? Like an idiot, you've turned away from me and chosen destruction instead. Your self-satisfying smugness will kill you. But the one who always listens to me will live undisturbed in a heavenly peace. Free from fear, confident and courageous, you'll rest unafraid and sheltered from the storms of life. Thank you, Jesus. All right, Proverbs chapter 2. My child, only when you treasure my wisdom will you acquire it, and only if you accept my advice and hide it within will you succeed. So train your heart to listen when I speak, and open your spirit wide to expand your discernment. Then I'll pass it on to your sons. Yes, cry out for comprehension and intercede for insight. For if you keep seeking it like a man would seek for sterling silver, searching in hidden places for cherished treasure, then you will discover the fear of God and truly worship him in awe and wonder that he deserves. In the awe and wonder that he deserves. Wisdom is a gift from a generous God, and every word he speaks is full of revelation and becomes a living fountain of understanding within you. For the Lord has a hidden storehouse of wisdom made accessible to his godly lovers. He becomes your personal bodyguard as you follow his ways, protecting and guarding you as you choose what is right. Then you will discover all that is just and fair, and empower you to make the right decisions as you walk into your destiny. Then wisdom wins your heart, and revelation breaks in. True pleasure enters your soul as you choose to follow good counsel. Divine design will watch over you, and understanding will protect you from making poor choices. It will rescue you from evil in disguise and from those who speak duplicities, for they have left the highway of holiness and walk in the ways of darkness. They take pleasure when evil prospers and thoroughly enjoy a lifestyle of sin. But they're walking on a path to nowhere, wandering away into deeper deception. For only wisdom can save you from the flattery of the promiscuous woman. She's such a smooth-talking seductress. She left her husband and has forgotten her wedding vows. You'll find her house on the road to hell, and all the men who go through her doors will never come back to the place they were. They'll find nothing but desolation and despair. Follow those who follow wisdom and stay on the right path, for all my godly lovers will enjoy life to the fullest and will inherit their destinies. But the treacherous ones who love darkness will not only lose all they could have had, they'll lose even their own souls. Proverbs chapter 3. My child, if you truly want a long and satisfying life, never forget the things that I've taught you. Follow closely every truth that I've given you. Then you will have a full and rewarding life. Hold on to loyal love and don't let go. And be faithful to all that you've been taught. Let your life be shaped by integrity, with truth written upon your heart. That's how you'll find favor and understanding with both God and men. You'll gain the reputation of living life well. Trust in the Lord completely and not your own opinions, but with all your heart, rely on Him to guide you, and He will lead you in all the decisions you make. Become intimate with Him in whatever you do, and He'll lead you wherever you go. And don't think for a moment that you know it all, for wisdom comes when you adore Him with awe and wonder. And avoid everything that's wrong, for then you'll find the healing refreshment your body and spirit longs for. Glorify God with all your wealth, honoring Him with your very best, with the very increase that comes to you. And then every dimension of your life will overflow with blessings from an uncontainable source of inner joy. My child, when the Lord God speaks to you, never take His words lightly, and never be upset when He corrects you. For the Father's discipline comes only from His passionate love and pleasure for you. And even when it seems like His correction is harsh, it's still better than any father on earth gives to his child. Those who find true wisdom obtain the tools for understanding the proper way to live, for they will have a fountain of blessing pouring into their lives. To gain the riches of wisdom is far greater than gaining the wealth of the world. As wisdom increases, a great treasure is imparted, greater than many bars of refined gold. It's a more valuable commodity than gold and gemstones. For there is nothing you desire that could compare to her. Wisdom extends you long life in one hand, with wealth and promotion in the other. Out of her mouth flows righteousness, and her words release both law and mercy. The ways of wisdom are sweet, always drawing you into the place of wholeness. Seeking for her brings the discovery of untold blessings, for she is the healing tree of life to those who taste her fruits. The Lord laid earth's foundations, but with wisdom's blueprints, and by His living understanding, all the universe came into being. By His divine revelation, He broke open the fountains of the deep, bringing secret springs to the surface, as the mist of the night dripped down from heaven. My child, set these two goals for your life: to walk in wisdom and to discover discernment. Don't ever forget how they empower you, for they strengthen you inside and out and inspire you to do what's right. You'll be energized and refreshed by the healing they bring. They give you living hope to guide you, and not one of life's tests will cause you to stumble. You will sleep like a baby, safe and sound. Your rest will be a sweet and secure. You'll not be subject to terror, for it will not terrify you, nor will the disrespectful be able to push you aside. Because God is your confidence in times of crisis, keeping your heart at rest in every situation. Why would you withhold payment on your debt when you have the ability to pay? Just do it. When your friend comes to ask you for a favor, why would you say, perhaps tomorrow, when you have the money right there in your pocket? Help them today. Why would you hold a grudge in your heart towards your neighbor who lives right next door? And why would you quarrel with another when they've done nothing wrong to you? Is that a chip on your shoulder? Don't act like those bullies or learn their ways. Every violent thug is despised by the Lord, but every tender lover finds friendship with God and will hear His intimate secrets. The wicked walk under God's constant curse, but godly lovers walk under a stream of his blessings. For they seek to do what is right. If you walk with mockers, you'll learn to mock. But God's grace and favor flows to the meek. Stubborn fools will fill their lives with disgrace, but glory and honor rests upon the wise. Chapter 4. Listen to my correction, my sons, for I speak to you as a father. Let discernment enter your heart, and you will grow wise. With the understanding I impart, my revelation truth is a gift to you. So remain faithful to my instruction. For I too was once the delight of my father, and cherished by my mother, their beloved child. Then my father taught me, saying, never forget my words. If you do everything that I teach you, you'll reign in life. So make wisdom your quest. Search for the revelation of life's meaning. Don't let what I say go in one ear and out the other. Stick with wisdom and she'll stick with you, protecting you throughout your days. She'll rescue you, all those who passionately listen to her voice. Wisdom is the most valuable commodity, so buy it. Revelation knowledge is what you need, so invest in it. Wisdom will exalt you when you exalt her truth. She will lead you to honor and favor when you live your life by her insights. You'll be adorned with beauty and grace, and wisdom's glory will wrap itself around you, making you victorious in the race. My sons, if you will take the time to stop and listen to me and embrace what I say, you'll live a long and happy life, full of understanding in every way. I've taken you by the hand in wisdom's ways, pointing you to the path of integrity. Your progress will have no limits when you come along with me, and you will never stumble as you walk along the way. So receive my correction, no matter how hard it is to swallow, for wisdom will snap you back into place. Her words will be invigorating life to you, so don't detour into darkness or even set foot on that path. Stay away from it. Don't even go there, for troublemakers are restless if they're not involved in evil. And they're not ever satisfied until they've brought someone harm. They feed on darkness and drink until they're drunk on wine of wickedness. But the lovers of God walk on the highway of light, and their way shines brighter and brighter until they bring forth the perfect day. But the wicked will walk in thick darkness, like those who travel in fog, and yet don't have a clue why they keep stumbling. Listen carefully, my dear child, to everything that I teach you, and pay attention to all I have to say. Fill your thoughts with my words until they penetrate deep into your spirit. Then, as you unwrap my words, they will impart to you true life and radiant health into the very core of your being. So above all, guard the affections of your heart, for they affect all that you are. Out of your inmost being flows the wellspring of life. Avoid dishonest speech and pretentious words. Be free from using perverse words, no matter what. Set your gaze on the path before you, and with fixed purpose, looking straight ahead, ignore life's distractions. Watch where you're going. Stick to the path of truth, and the road will be safe and smooth before you. Don't allow yourself to be sidetracked for even a moment, or take the detour that leads to darkness. chapter 5. Listen to me, my son, for I know what I'm talking about. Listen carefully to my advice, so that wisdom and discernment will enter your heart. And then the words you speak will express what you've learned. Remember this: the lips of a seductress seem like sweet honey, and her smooth words are like music to your ears. But I promise you this: in the end, all you'll be left with is a bitter conscience. For the sting of your sin will pierce your soul like a sword. She'll ruin your life and drag you down to death and lead you straight to hell. She has prevented many from considering the paths of life. Yes, she'll take you with her where you don't want to go, sliding down a slippery road, not even realizing where the two of you will end up. Listen to me, young man, and don't forget one thing I'm telling you. Run away far from her as fast as you can. Don't even go near the door of her house unless you want to fall into her seduction. In disgrace, you'll relinquish your honor to another, and all your remaining years will be squandered, given over to the cruel one. Why would you let strangers take away your strength while the labors of your house go to someone else? For as you grow old, you'll groan in anguish and shame as sexually transmitted diseases consume your body. And then you'll admit that you were wrong and say, if only I had listened to wisdom's voice and not stubbornly demanded my own way, because my heart hated to be told what to do. Why didn't I take seriously the warning of my wise counselors? Why was I so stupid to think that I could get away with it? Now I'm totally disgraced and my life is ruined. I'm paying the price, for the people of the congregation are now my judges. My son, share your love with your wife alone. Drink from her well of pleasure and from no other. Why would you have sex with a stranger or with anyone other than her? Reserve this pleasure for you and her alone, and not with another. Your sex life will be blessed as you take joy and pleasure in the wife of your youth. Let her breasts be your satisfaction. Let her embrace intoxicate you at all times. Be continually delighted and ravished with her love. My son, why would you be exhilarated by an adulteress? By embracing a woman that is not yours? For God sees everything you do, and his eyes are wide open as he observes every single habit you have. Beware that your sins don't overtake you, and the scars of your own conscience become the ropes that tie you up. Those who choose wickedness die for lack of self-control, for their foolish ways lead them astray, carrying them away as hostages, kidnapped, captives, robbed of destiny. Chapter 6. My son, if you co-sign a loan for an acquaintance and guarantee their debt, you'll be sorry that you ever did it. You'll be trapped by your promise and legally bound by the agreement. So listen carefully to my advice. Quickly get out of it as if you possibly can. Swallow your pride, get over your embarrassment, and go tell your friend you want your name off that contract. Don't put it off, and don't rest until you get it done. Rescue yourself from future pain and be free from it once and for all. You'll be relieved that you did. When you're feeling lazy, come and learn a lesson from the tale of that tiny ant. Yes, all you lazy bones, come and learn from the example of the ant and enter into wisdom. The ant has no chief, no boss, nor manager, yet no one has to tell them what to do. You'll see them working and toiling all summer long, stockpiling their food in preparation for winter. So wake up, sleepyhead. How long will you lie there? When will you wake up and get out of bed? If you keep nodding off and thinking, I'll do it later, or say to yourself, I'll just sit back a while and take it easy. Excuses. Now watch how the future unfolds. You'll learn what it means to go without. Poverty will pounce on you like a bandit and move in as your roommate for life. Here's another life lesson to learn from observing the wayward and wicked man. They can tell you can tell they're lawless. They're constant liars, proud deceivers, full of clever ploys and convincing plots. Their twisted thoughts are perverse, always with a scheme to stir up trouble, and sowing strife with every step they take. But when calamity comes knocking on their door, suddenly and without warning, they're undone, broken to bits, shattered with no hope of healing. There are 6 evils God truly hates, and the 7th, that is an abomination to him. Putting others down while considering yourself superior, spreading lies and rumors, spilling the blood of the innocent, plotting evil in your heart towards another, gloating over doing what's plainly wrong, spouting lies in false testimony, and stirring up strife between friends. These are entirely despicable to God. My child, obey your father's godly instruction and follow your mother's life-giving teaching. Fill your heart with their advice and let your life be shaped by what they've taught you. Their wisdom will guide you wherever you go and keep you from bringing harm to yourself. Their instruction will whisper to you at every sunrise and direct you through a brand new day. For truth is a bright beam of light shining into every area of your life, instructing and correcting you to discover the ways to godly living. Truth will protect you from immorality and from the promiscuity of another man's wife. Your heart won't be enticed by her flatteries or lust over her beauty, nor will her suggestive ways conquer you. Prostitutes will reduce a man to poverty, and the adulteress steals your soul. She may even cost you your life. For how can a man light his pants on fire and not be burned? Can he walk over hot coals of fire and not blister his feet? What makes you think that you can sleep with another man's wife and not get caught? Do you really think you'll get away with it? Don't you know it will ruin your life? You can almost excuse a thief if he steals to feed his own family, but if he's caught, he still has to pay back what he stole 7-fold. His punishment and fine will cost him greatly. Don't be so stupid as to think you can get away with your idolatry. It will destroy your life, and you'll pay the price for the rest of your days. You'll discover what humiliation, shame, and disgrace are all about. For no one will ever let you forget what you've done. A husband's jealousy makes a man furious. He won't spare you when he comes to take revenge. Try all you want to talk your way out of it. Offer him a bribe and see if you can manipulate him with your money. Nothing will turn him aside when he comes to you with vengeance in his eyes. Chapter 7. Stick close to my instruction, my son, and follow my advice. If you do what I say, you'll live well. Guard your life with my revelation truth, for my teaching is as precious as your eyesight. Treasure my instructions and cherish them within your heart. Say to wisdom, I love you, and to understanding, you're my sweetheart. May the two of you protect me, and may we never be apart. For they will keep you from the adulteress, with her smooth words meant to seduce your heart. Looking out the window of my house one day, I noticed among the mindless crowd a simple, naive man who was about to go astray. There he was, walking down the street, when he turned the corner, going on his way. As he hurried on to the house of the harlot, the woman he had planned to meet, there he was in the twilight as darkness fell. Thinking no one was watching, he entered the black shadows of hell. That's when their rendezvous began, as a woman of the night appeared, dressed to kill the strength of any man. She was decked out as a harlot to pursue her amorous plan. Her voice so seductive, rebellious, and boisterous, as she wandered so far from what's right, pursuing her amorous plan. Her type can be found soliciting on street corners on just about any night. So she wrapped her arms around the senseless young man and held him tight. She enticed him with kisses which seemed so right. Then, with insolence, she whispered in his ear, "Come with me, it'll be all right. I've got everything we need for a feast. I'll cook you a wonderful dinner. So here I am, I'm all yours. You're the very one I was looking for, the one I truly wanted from the moment I saw you. That's why I've come out here tonight, so that I could meet a man like you. I've spread my canopy bed with coverings, lovely multicolored Egyptian linens, spread and ready for you to lie down on. I've sprinkled the sheets with intoxicating perfume made from myrrh, aloes, and sweet cinnamon. Come, let's get comfortable and take pleasure in each other and make love all night. There's no one home, for my husband's away on business. He left home loaded with money to spend, so don't worry, he won't be back until another month ends." He was swayed by her sophistication, enticed by her longing embrace. She led him down the wayward path, right into sin and devastation. So quickly he went astray, with no clue where he was headed. Taken like a dumb ox alongside the butcher, like a venomous snake coiled to strike. She set her fangs into him. He's like a man about to be executed with an arrow through his heart, like a bird that flies into the net, unaware about what's about to happen. So listen to me, you young men. You'd better take my words seriously. Control your sexual urges and guard your heart from lust. Don't let your passions get out of hand, and don't lock your eyes onto a beautiful woman. Why would you want to even get close to temptation and seduction to have an affair with her? She's pierced the souls of multitudes of men, and many mighty ones have fallen and have been brought down by her. If you're looking for the road to hell, just go looking for her house. Chapter 8. Can you hear the voice of wisdom? From the top of the mountains of influence, she speaks into the gateways of the glorious city. At the place where pathways merge, at the entrance of every portal, there she stands, ready to impart understanding, shouting aloud to all who enter, preaching her sermon to those who will listen. I'm calling to you, sons of Adam, yes, and to your daughters as well. Listen to me, and I will be prudent and you will be prudent and wise. For even the foolish and feeble can receive an understanding heart that will change their inner being. The meaning of my words will release within you revelation for you to reign in life. My lyrics will empower you to live by what is right. For everything I say is unquestionably true, and I refuse to endure the lies of lawlessness. My words will never lead you astray. All the declarations of my mouth can be trusted. They contain no twisted logic or perversion of the truth. All my words are clear and straightforward to all who possess spiritual understanding. If you have an open mind, you'll receive revelation knowledge. Whoa. My wise correction is more valuable than silver or gold. The finest gold is nothing compared to the revelation knowledge I can impart. Wisdom is so priceless that it exceeds the value of any jewel. Nothing you could wish for can equal her. For I am wisdom, and I am shrewd and intelligent. I have at my disposal living understanding to devise a plan for your life. Wisdom pours into you when you begin to hate every form of evil in your life. For that's what worship and fearing God is all about. You will discover that your pompous pride and perverse speech are the very ways of wickedness that I hate. You'll find true success when you find me, for I have insight into wise plans that are designed just for you. I hold my hands in living understanding, courage, and strength. They're all ready and waiting for you. I empower kings to reign and rulers to make laws that are just. I empower princes to rise and take dominion, and generous ones to govern the earth. I will show my love to those who passionately love me, and they will search and search continually until they find me. Unending wealth and glory comes to those who discover where I dwell. The riches of righteousness and a long, satisfying life will be given to them. What I impart has greater worth than gold and treasure, and the increase I bring benefits more than a windfall of income. I lead you into the ways of righteousness to discover the paths of true justice. Those who love me gain great wealth and a glorious inheritance, and I will fill their lives with treasures. In the beginning I was there, for God possessed me. Even before He created the universe from eternity past, I was set in place. Before the world began, I was anointed from the beginning. Before the ocean depths were poured out, and before there were any glorious fountains overflowing with water, I was there dancing. Even before one mountain had been sculpted or one hill raised up, I was already there dancing. When He created the earth, the fields, even the first atom of dust, I was already there. When He hung the tapestry of the heavens and stretched out the horizon of the earth, when the clouds and skies were set in place and the subterranean fountains began to flow strong, I was already there. when he set in place the pillars of the earth and spoke the decrees of the seas, commanding the waves so that they wouldn't overstep their boundaries, I was there, close to Creator's side and his master artist. Daily he was filled with delight in me as I playfully rejoiced before him. I laughed and played so happily with what he had made, while finding all my delight in the children of men. So listen, my sons and daughters, to everything I tell you, for nothing will bring you more joy than following my ways. Listen to my counsel, for my instruction will enlighten you, and you will be wise not to ignore it. If you wait at wisdom's doorway, longing to hear a word for every day, joy breaks forth within you as you listen for what I'll say. For the fountain of life pours into you every time that you find me. And this is the secret of growing in the delight and favor of the Lord. But those who stumble and miss me will be sorry they did. For ignoring what I have to say will bring harm to your soul. Those who hate me are simply flirting with death. Proverbs chapter 9. Wisdom has built herself a palace upon 7 pillars to keep it secure. She has made ready a banquet feast, and the sacrifice has been killed. She has mingled her wine, and the table's all set. She has sent out her maidens, crying out from the high place, inviting everyone to come and eat until they're full. Whoever wants to know me and receive my wisdom, come and dine at my table and drink of my wine. Lay aside your simple thoughts and leave your paths behind. Agree with my ways, live in my truth, and righteousness you will find. If you try to correct an arrogant cynic, expect an angry insult in return. If you try to confront an evil man, don't be surprised if all you get is a slap in the face. So don't even bother to correct a mocker, for he'll only hate you for it. But go ahead and correct the wise. They'll love you even more. Teach a wise man what is right, and he'll grow even wiser. Instruct the lovers of God, and they'll learn even more. The starting point for acquiring wisdom is to be consumed with awe as you worship Jehovah God. To receive the revelation of the Holy One, you must come to the one who has living understanding. Wisdom will extend your life, making every year more fruitful than the one before. So it is to your advantage to be wise. But to ignore the counsel of wisdom is to invite trouble into your life. There is a spirit named Foolish, who is boisterous and brash. She's seductive and restless, and there she sits at the gateway to the high places. On her throne, overlooking the city, she preaches to all who walk by her, who are clueless as to what is happening. Come home with me, she invites those who are easily led astray, saying, illicit sex is the best sex of all. Our secret affair will be sweeter than all others. Little do they know, when they answer her call, that she dwells among the spirits of the dead, and all her guests soon become citizens of hell. Proverbs chapter 10. When wisdom comes to a son, joy comes to a father. When a son turns from wisdom, a mother grieves. Gaining wealth through dishonesty is no gain at all, but honesty brings you a lasting happiness. The Lord satisfies the longing of all his lovers, but he withholds from the wicked what their souls crave. Slackers will know what it means to be poor, while the hard workers become wealthy. Know the importance of the season you're in, and be a wise son you will be. But what a waste when an incompetent son sleeps through his day of opportunity. The lover of God is enriched beyond belief, but the evil man only curses his luck. The reputation of the righteous becomes a sweet memorial to him, while the wicked life only leaves a rotten stench. The heart of the wise will easily accept instruction, but the one who does all the talking is too busy to listen and learn. They'll just keep stumbling ahead into the mess they've created. The one who walks in integrity will experience a fearless confidence in life, but the one who is devious will eventually be exposed. The troublemaker always has a clever plan and won't look you in the eye, but the one who speaks correction honestly can be trusted to make peace. The teachings of the lovers of God are like living truth flowing from the fountain of life, but the words of the wicked hide an ulterior motive. Hatred keeps old quarrels alive, but love draws a veil over every insult and finds a way to make sin disappear. Words of wisdom flow from the one with true discernment, but to the heartless, words of wisdom become like rods beating their backside. Wise men don't divulge all they know, but chattering fools blurt out words that bring them to the brink of ruin. A rich man's wealth becomes like a citadel of strength, but the poverty of the poor leaves their scrutiny in shambles. The lovers of God earn their wages for a life of righteousness, but the wages of the wicked are squandered on a life of sin. If you readily receive correction, you are walking on the path of life. But if you reject rebuke, you're guaranteed to go astray. The one who hides their hatred while pretending to be your friend is nothing but a liar. But the one who slanders you behind your back proves that he's a fool, never to be trusted. If you keep talking, it won't be long before you're saying something really wrong. Prove you're wise from the very start. Just bite your tongue and be strong. The teachings of the godly ones are like pure silver, bringing words of redemption to others, but the hearts of the wicked is corrupt. The lovers of God feed many with their teachings, but the foolish ones starve themselves for lack of an understanding heart. True enrichment comes from the blessing of the Lord, with rest and contentment, in knowing that it all comes from Him. The fool finds his fun in doing wrong, but the wise delight in having discernment. The lawless are haunted by their fears, and what they dread will come upon them. But the longings of the lovers of God will all be fulfilled. The wicked are blown away by every stormy wind, but when the catastrophe comes, the lovers of God have a secure anchor. To trust a lazy person to get a job done will be as irritating as smoke in your eyes, as enjoyable as a toothache. To live in the worship and awe of God will bring you many years of contented living. So how could the wicked ever expect to have a long, happy life? Lovers of God have a joyful feast of gladness, but the ungodly see their hopes vanish right before their eyes. The beautiful ways of God are a safe resting place for those who have integrity, but to those who work wickedness, the ways of God spell doom. God's lover can never be greatly shaken. But the wicked will never inherit the covenant blessings. The teachings of the righteous are loaded with wisdom, but the words of the evil are crooked and perverse. Words that bring delight pour from the lips of the godly, but the words of the wicked are duplicitous.